Hello everybody, my name is Brunette Gaming and welcome back to my Minecraft survival series. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. In the last episode, I talked about some stories about my cat. Well, in this episode, I think I would like to uh, tell a story. It's more of a I don't want to say serious, but I do want to say that it's not like funny or anything. It's kind of like a story of I want to say I don't want to say betrayal, just kind of being used, Like when you have that person that just kind of uses you for their own purpose, it's like that, and it sucks. So while I get the buildings on my house, I'm gonna tell the story, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And if not, I'll know not to talk about this stuff again. So, with that being said, let's get back to building. So, I'm currently a high school graduate. I just graduated this year, class 2015. Back in, I want to say, 7th, 8th grade, I had this friend. I'm not going to use her actual name. We're going to call her L. L. I had known Elle for quite some time. I think I had gone to elementary school with her. I'm not sure, I can't remember. But at my school, there was a lot of people that I had known from elementary school, so it was pretty common for me to, um, you know, see people that I knew like that. So, uh, my best friend was also friends with Elle. We'll call my best friend B. So B didn't really like L, and no, not L from the anime. I know some of you anime watchers, such as myself, are probably like, she's saying L, like Death Note. Not him, although I probably wouldn't have had this story if it had been him. Anyway, getting back to the story at hand. Yes, they were mutual friends. Well, she was a mutual friend of us, but she wasn't really a friend of mine. She used me to get to my best friend, and she did this by every time she would text me, she'd always do the typical, hey, how are you? And then she'd go right into, hey, can you tell B this? Can you ask B that? Why isn't B responding to me? Is she okay? Stuff like that. It was always about my best friend, and it annoyed the crap out of me. But then she would get right into, asking me about my life, and so I just kind of shrugged it off. But I did realize that I had become her, little messenger to my best friend, and I didn't particularly like that. But, what was I gonna do? I wasn't gonna be rude to her or anything. So, I'm sorry, if I take a break and I stop talking, I'm eating pudding right now, and I have some soda next to me. So, I might take a break and eat that, because all this talking, it dries out your throat. Not dries out your throat, but like your mouth. And then you feel like you need to take a drink. So, it's always nice to keep like water or something next to you. My water is currently in the refrigerator, but I don't feel like pulling it out. Anyway, getting back to the story. So yeah, it was always about my best friend, and I got sick of being like her little messenger, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be rude. So I just kind of shrugged it off like, whatever, Well, my best friend got into some trouble because of Elle, and that is what caused me to start disliking her, because when I was in 7th, 8th grade, I was really innocent. I was so nice to everybody. I had not developed, my personality that I have today, because if you ever meet me, you'll notice that I'm not very fond of people. I let me try to word this out. I'm very picky about who I hang out with, about who I like. I'm very picky. I normally try and determine, who I like very soon and who I don't like. Like, I'll look at a person and be like, oh, I don't think we would get along very well. Or, maybe, maybe me and that person would be, great friends. It just all depended. Well, my best friend, B, went over to spend the night at Elle's aunt's house. And so I was like, okay, feel free to talk to me if you need anything. I'll be here. And she's like, okay, cool. So in her updates, I get angry because I'm out of wood. Crap. I need to get more. Excuse me while I search for some trees. Okay. Anyway, so she's over at Elle's house, and Elle's cousin pretty much sexually assaulted. Well, I would say sexually assaulted, because I think he was kind of making the moves on her, and I don't mean like your cheesy, like arm around the shoulder type moves. I think he was like physically touching her, and it made her uncomfortable. I don't know, because this was so long ago and the messages are on my old phone and not the phone that I have currently, and I'm pretty sure my best friend doesn't remember either. But it eventually ended up where he kind of shoved his tongue down my best friend's throat. And I was not so happy about this, so I chewed Elle out, because, it's when you go to someone's house, it's their responsibility to take care of you, to make sure that your needs are met, because this isn't your home, your parents aren't here. And if you ever notice that, someone's parents are like so nice to you when you come over, that's because it's their house. You're a guest. You're supposed to fulfill your guest's needs. Well, my best friend was dropping hints to Elle that she was feeling uncomfortable, like sticking around her, sitting next to her, and Elle wasn't getting the hint. Whereas if I had been there and I learned that he did that, his tongue would have been cut out. Because that is my best friend, and she has been there for me through thick and thin, and I would do anything for her. I would. And it made me mad. And that was what started me disliking her. Well, the thing that caused me to, I want to say, hit my breaking point with her was that, did I lose my house? I don't think I did. Well, anyway, the thing that made me hit my breaking point with her is that she started a fight between me and my best friend. She did. She started a fight. Back when my fiance and I were first dating, I didn't really know how to handle my my problems with him, and so I would go to my best friend for advice, that being the natural response. And that particular time, I forgot what I had a problem with him about. I asked her for advice, and I'm assuming I didn't like what she said or something, or maybe something she said was just, something I didn't agree with or something. I don't know. Well, we got into a small argument. It wasn't like a big fight or anything, but we got in a small argument, and eventually it just ended up with me asking for more time, more space to, kind of clear my head on things. and think it through. And she's like, okay, cool. Take all the time you need, and when you're ready, talk to me. I'm like, okay, cool. Because we were understanding like that. Well, later on that same day, I get a message from Elle asking, what happened? Why is B upset? Constantly asking questions about B again. Well, I'm frustrated, and not to mention, she was getting into something that was none of her business, so I straight up told her, this is none of your business. This is between me and B. You need to back off. Well, she gets all upset, saying that, oh, B is like her sister, and me, I just didn't care, because that is still not a justification for you to get up in my business. It's not something that you should be a part of. It's not, because it wasn't any of her business, and so I just straight up told her to butt out. Well, she got all butthurt and decides to go to my best friend about it. And my best friend is upset with me. For what reason? I'm guessing what... Excuse me while I take a drink. Oh, that's much better. What was I saying? I was saying something. What was it? Well, anyway. Oh, yes, she made me seem like the bad guy. You know how, like, depending on what you say is how another person is gonna see it? Well, she made me seem like I was the jerk here. And my best friend said that I was fake and not to talk to her until I grew up a little. At this point, I was really hurt because I wasn't expecting this, and I'm just kind of confused because they were both ganging up on me, and I didn't know how to respond. At this point, I was crying because, I hate it when people are upset with me. I hate it. I don't know why my just reaction is to cry. I don't know. It's weird. But, so yeah, she just told me to kind of F off. My best friend did. And, I didn't hear from her for like a week. And, eventually, I just sent her a message. Or I sent her a message. Sorry about that. I sent her a message and was like, okay, look, here's my side of the story. I told her my side of the story. Was like, you got two options here. You can either throw away our 4 years of best friendship. Now it's 6, 7, around that time. I told her you can, just throw all that away, or we can talk this out and go back to being friends. Thankfully, she chose me, and we both realized that she was the cause of our fight. And so I ended up sending Elle a message telling her that I didn't, want to see her again, that I wanted her out of my life. And that's how it ended up being. I never heard from her again. I don't care what she's doing now. I don't. So I hope she's, causing some other people trouble. So I hope you guys liked this story. It's getting about that time for me to end this. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you next time.